Coming up in the news, Grand Bahamas Sustainable Conference into Day 2, the role of technology in disaster preparedness addressed. The Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge giving his position on the recent heads of agreement. And a local doctor talks about the coronavirus. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Natalia Hall. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Minister of State for Grand Bahama outlining several initiatives put in place since Hurricane Dorian. He says going forward, technology will play a big role in disaster preparedness. Minister Thompson was addressing Day 2 of the Grand Bahamas Sustainable Conference sponsored by the University of the Bahamas. Minister of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, focused on digital transformation across the country. He says the country must change the way we identify, prepare for, and address natural disasters. He outlined some of the initiatives that were put in place following Hurricane Dorian to help Bahamians restore their lives. He adds that there is an opportunity for citizens to rebuild smarter using technology.
A significant amount of damage involved the storage of paper files in the public and private sector. This provides us with another opportunity to use more digital tools for data storage, which assists businesses in becoming more resilient and provides opportunity to build the technology industry in Grand Bahama and the Bahamas.
Minister Thompson says Hurricane Dorian exposed the country's dependence on cash and the old banking system.
Many countries have used their limitations with banking to leapfrog using digital currencies or e-wallets. And I suspect since you have Mr. Roll here, you will hear more about that this morning. This provides us with an opportunity to tap into and develop a new industry and a new opportunity for a faster, more convenient way of doing business.
And a small business innovative initiative was recently put in place by the government along with the Small Business Development Center.
This program is designed to specifically create new opportunities for small businesses to access grant funding of up to $2,500 earmarked for the introduction and upgrade of technology-based infrastructure with a concentration on innovation. We don't want you to come and say we want a grant for a new computer, but we want you to come and say you want a grant because you want to implement more innovation in your business in order to serve the public better.
The passport office has also upgraded as Bahamians can now fill out applications online to renew their passports and can receive their passports within 2 weeks.
The online service, which can now be accessed through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, can take online applications, pay online for the renewal of your e-passport, and send an electronic message that the passport is ready for collection. In essence, the user will only have to physically attend the passport office to collect a renewed passport.
The minister says overall the government is moving towards a paperless system to create a more resilient Bahamas. The island of Abaco is having its share of challenges due to Hurricane Dorian, but residents are still pressing on. President of the Chamber of Commerce on that northern island, Kent Hutton, says the chamber is doing their best to support the local businesses.
Together through our website, through social media and stuff like that. We're doing various outreach programs. We're having town hall meetings. We're conducting seminars and training sessions, and we are giving our members access to certain business programs to help them rebuild their business. So the chamber is still very active in Abaco right now.
He adds that many business owners are discouraged, but they are determined to reopen their businesses.
well, there's very, very few places to actually open businesses in Abaco right now. As a result of that, the Chamber is working with SBDC and with the Disaster Reconstruction Authority. We're going to be, we're supporting a business park, a small business park being set up at the old BAIC grounds in the center of Marsh Harbor. So if a business has a small trailer where they can, do their business, a print shop or a small kitchen or a coffee shop or a repair shop, we're going to provide them a space, a centralized location so that people can come there and get those services done.
Now, the site is expected to be cleared within the next 10 days. In other news, a local doctor in Grand Bahama giving his take on the coronavirus. He says a key prevention tip is maximizing your immune system. Megan Shepard has the story.
As the coronavirus continues to spread globally, many persons are taking as much precaution as possible to prevent catching the virus. Proper hygiene practices is still the #1 prevention tip by medical professionals. Now, persons have also taken to wearing surgical masks in their daily lives. However, medical director at the Family Wellness Center, Dr. Kevin Bethel, says that may not be as effective as persons may think.
So this idea of wearing the masks is more to prevent it from spreading to other people because you're sneezing into the mask rather than into the air. Unless you have a really high quality ventilation mask, it's not going to really filter out the particles that might be in the air. I'm not saying not to do that. I'm just saying that don't be lulled into a false sense of security because you have a mask on that it's somehow going to protect you.
He explains how the virus enters the body.
Coronavirus enters the body by binding to a receptor called the angiotensin receptor. This angiotensin receptor is found predominantly in the lungs and kidneys. So if we have a medicine that blocks the angiotensin receptor so that the virus cannot get access to the receptor, we can limit the spread. A lot of the focus has been on trying to find some sort of agent that kills the virus, but viruses are even debatable whether even living things. They have to be inside the cell to even be considered living. So mainly if we can prevent it from entering into the body and spreading in the body.
Dr. Bethel says that luckily the Bahamas produces the very plant that can block the virus.
It's called pycnogenol. Pycnogenol is a natural substance that is found in pine needle tea, and luckily on Grand Bahama we have loads of pine needle. So I'm not really worried. I've been telling all my patients to drink pine needle tea to get the pycnogenol. They can also get pycnogenol as a supplement. It literally blocks the virus from having access to the receptor. And this is one of the reasons that the coronaviruses cause such severe respiratory illnesses. That's where it enters into the body. And then it goes into the kidneys, where the other area where this angiotensin receptor is predominant and causes kidney problems. So those are the two main things that people end up, if they do get very sick, is lung edema. So it's a dry cough and no sniffly nose. So I've used pycnogenol in the past to treat other coronaviruses very successfully.
The purchase deal for the Grand Lucayne Resort setting plans in motion for a $300 million investment development by Royal Caribbean International and the ITM Group. The signing makes way for a mega investment on the Lakaya Strip that is projected to transform Freeport into a premier tourist destination. For many, the investment represents a sign of hope for the island's ailing economy. It is being called a rebirth for Grand Bahama's tourism sector. The news on the sale of the Grand Lucayne Resort property has no doubt been welcomed by various sectors throughout the island, including local business owners who have been a part of the Lucayne Strip for many years. President of Agave and Zaza, Noel Clark, says the new move means a lot to him as he has watched the hotel property being built from the ground up and then its decline following major hurricanes.
I did all the logistics for the construction of the hotel, so I brought in everything that when we actually built it. So I saw this from the absolute bottom, built into a beautiful property, and then decline over there. So this is, it's like a rebirth. It was 20 years ago that I worked here, and now we're actually getting to the point of rebuilding again. So it's exciting. It's going to be good to see something actually happening.
Well-known businessman Nick Vacados, the owner of Zaubers, and John Heath, the owner of John Heath Jewelry, have been in the Port Lucaya marketplace before the existing resort was built.
It's been a long process, stressful on all the restaurants and all the business owners, especially in Grand Bahama and Port Lucaya marketplace with the devastation of Dorian. But there's hope, and today is the new chapter. There's hope ahead, and we can only move up from now on.
The CEO and the Prime Minister alluded, this is a new day, a new dawning for Grand Bahama, and we're all looking for that. We've waited a long time, and we look forward to the future and future development.
Paul and Kimberly Brown of Island Yogurt in the Port Lucaya marketplace say they are looking forward to seeing more customers.
It's been the same story in Grand Bahama for years. You know, these projects come along and they just fizzle out. So it's great to actually see them sign on the dotted line.
The Garden of the Groves is a location filled with history on the island. Owner Erica Gates of the Garden of the Groves and Grand Bahama Nature Tours says she too is excited.
Waiting for it for a long time, and I think it will turn Grand Bahama around, especially for us at Grand Bahama Nature Tours. We are mainly dependent on cruise ships at the moment, but when this hotel opens again, I think it will be a tremendous improvement for customer numbers that we have on our kayak jeeps and biking tours, and as well as visitors to Garden of the Groves.
And in the touring sector, owner of H. Forbes Charter, Hedley Forbes, says he believes the future of Grand Bahama is bright.
In life, you will have ups and you will have downs. Today is an up day. I am very optimistic about the future. As an investor and a stakeholder in Grand Bahama, this can come in at a better time for everyone who is unemployed and to be employed.
Meantime, a local parliamentarian says while he welcomes the signing as a good first step for Grand Bahama, he remains cautious. He says a greater focus is needed to pull Grand Bahama out of the economic doldrums. Rumiko Knowles picks up the story.
The public that this is the third heads of agreement that has been signed for the same hotel.
Sentiments from the Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, who says he is content knowing that the government has signed an agreement for the purchase of the Grand Lucayan property. However, he says Grand Bahama has walked this road before.
I'm still wondering why the government is also doing a deal with an investor who also wants to do a deal in Nassau, because that was the same situation with the Wind Group. And why should I want to fully invest in Grand Bahama when all the action touristically and economically is still in Nassau?
Back in August of 2018, the Pine Ridge MP stated that the government's purchase of the Grand Lucayan Hotel was a purchase gone wrong. Today, he says he wants to see a better plan put forward relating to the economic empowerment of the people of Grand Bahama.
We're very happy that something can and we hope would happen with the Strip. The end all and be all can be on the Strip. We're talking about thousands of people in Grand Bahama who have relocated to other parts of the Bahamas and even out of the country looking for jobs. And so it can't be all and end all on one Strip. We need the government and the Port Authority to tell us what is the way forward for Grand Bahama economically.
McAlpine acknowledges that his comments may at times seem critical, but he says he wants to see better for Grand Bahama.
But I want to know what we're doing. I want to know where we're going, because it seems like we're just drifting. Where are we going economically? Grand Bahama, and I'm not putting all of this on the shoulders of the government. I'm also asking the Port Authority, what role are they going to play in terms of seeking to take us down the path of vision? And where are we going? It's been 25, almost 30 years that we've been in this circle. And we need to see some progress. And yes, we thank the government, but again, show us the money.
Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Youth leaders enrolled in a training program. We will tell you all about it when we come back.